You know that feeling, right? That little jolt of anxiety when you think about your personal finances. It can feel like you're trying to navigate this huge ocean without a clear map, just sort of drifting along. It's a universal challenge, really, and for many, it feels genuinely daunting.
Hmm.
But today, we're cutting through that uncertainty. This deep dive is basically your shortcut to becoming truly well informed on personal budgeting. Our mission is to pull out the most important, actionable insights from all the research and articles you've gathered. We want to give you practical strategies so you can navigate your own financial journey with clarity and confidence. We're going to uncover some common pitfalls, the things that trip people up. We'll highlight why having a realistic financial roadmap is absolutely essential. And then, most importantly, equip you with the actual steps to build, monitor, and adjust your budget, even when life inevitably throws you a curveball. Okay, so let's unpack this. Many of us start out with really good intentions, but budgets often hit turbulence pretty quickly. What are some of those common reasons for this financial turbulence?
Yeah, it's interesting. What's truly illuminating from the research is that budget failures often aren't really due to a lack of effort. It's more a fundamental misstep in strategy. Our deep dive into the data reveals three consistent patterns that tend to derail budgets. The first, and arguably the most significant, is the absence of clear financial goals. I mean, imagine trying to start a complex project without a specific objective. You just wander aimlessly.
Right, right. Like driving without putting a destination in
Yeah,
GPS.
and it's pretty similar with your money. Without concrete targets, confusion just sets in really fast. What the research consistently points to is the power of SMART goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Hmm.
So instead of just a vague idea like, I want to save money, a SMART goal turns it into something concrete, like, I will save $5,000 for a down payment on an apartment within 18 months. We learned about Sarah, remember her? A young professional who felt totally adrift until she actually defined her goals. Saving for that apartment, paying off student loans, that clarity just made her budgeting manageable. It gave her a real sense of purpose.
I can absolutely see how that framework gives you clarity. Yeah. But for someone just starting out, where do they even begin to identify those clear goals?
Yeah.
And once they do, what's another common challenge? Even if they have the best intentions.
Well, once the goals are set, the next big hurdle is often unplanned expenses. Life just happens, right? An emergency car repair, an unexpected medical bill, maybe sudden travel. These things can completely derail even the most meticulous plans.
Oh, definitely.
If you don't anticipate them, they force you to dip into savings meant for other goals. Or worse, you end up racking up debt.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So experts consistently advise establishing an emergency fund. Ideally, this means setting aside maybe 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses, and it needs to be in an easily accessible separate account. It acts as a crucial financial shock absorber.
A buffer.
Exactly, a buffer. It's also helpful to build in some flexible budgeting, maybe allocate a small percentage for miscellaneous stuff. And crucially, look back at your past spending. Review it to get a better idea of what common, smaller, unplanned costs might pop up. John's experience really illustrates this. He had a well-structured budget, looked great on paper, but he overlooked setting up an emergency fund. So when his car broke down, boom, he had to deplete his savings, which set back his bigger financial goals significantly.
That's such a classic trap, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thinking you're all prepared, but then life throws that wrench in the works.
Yeah.
Okay, so lack of goals, unplanned expenses. What's the third consistent pattern that causes budgets to falter?
The third pattern often comes down to inaccurate income estimations. This is particularly tricky for people with variable incomes. Think freelancers, commission-based workers. If you budget based on your highest earning month, for example,
Oh, yeah, that's risky.
it really is. It can lead to significant overspending when your income inevitably dips. And that creates this cycle of frustration, falling short, feeling like the budget just doesn't work.
So how do you manage that variability?
Well, the sources suggest analyzing your historical data first. Try to establish an average income. Then be conservative. Maybe assume a slightly lower income figure than your actual average when you're budgeting. And for really irregular income, some people find it helpful to establish a kind of base monthly salary for themselves. Any income above that base can then be strategically allocated, maybe extra to savings or some discretionary spending. Laura, the freelancer we read about, she learned this the hard way. Initially, she budgeted based on her peak month and consistently struggled, but when she adjusted to a more conservative projection, things became sustainable. She found her rhythm, got some peace of mind.
Okay, right. So we've laid out the potential pitfalls, the things to watch out for. Now let's pivot to the payoff. Let's talk about the positive side. What's the profound impact of not just avoiding those traps, but of actively building a realistic budget? How does it really act as that roadmap for overall financial well-being?
This is really where the transformation happens. What the research clearly shows is that a budget isn't just about managing money day to day. It's about gaining control. It's about actively shaping your future. Fundamentally, it provides financial stability. By giving you predictability, preventing overspending, it ensures you prioritize what's essential. You build a stronger financial foundation. Jessica's story was a great example here. She was living paycheck to paycheck, feeling constant stress.
I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Absolutely. A budget helped her identify areas to cut back, like dining out less often, canceling unused subscriptions, and the result wasn't just saving money, it was a profound shift. She gained peace of mind, stability. That's huge.
Huge.
And furthermore, a realistic budget is absolutely crucial for effective debt management. It empowers you to actually take control instead of feeling overwhelmed by debt. The strategy usually involves listing out all your debts, noting the interest rates, and then prioritizing payments. Many find success with either the snowball method, paying off smaller debts first for that psychological win, that momentum,
Right, the quick wins.
or the avalanche method, where you focus on the highest interest rates first to save more money in the long run. The key, though, is setting a non-negotiable repayment goal within your budget. James, remember him. Overwhelmed by student loans, credit card debt, he found consistent progress and, importantly, renewed motivation by allocating specific funds through his budget. He could finally see the light at the end of the tunnel.
That sounds incredibly empowering, actually seeing a clear path to becoming debt-free. And that really connects to the next piece of the puzzle, doesn't it? Savings and investments. How does a budget pave the way for those crucial components of building wealth?
Absolutely, they're completely linked. A realistic budget is, imperative for paving the way for savings and investments. It helps you live within your means, which is step one. But then it helps you consistently set money aside for your future. Our deep dive into financial best practices consistently recommends designating a specific percentage of your income for savings, ideally around 20%.
20%. Okay.
Yeah, that 20% ensures you build that emergency fund we talked about, save for larger goals like a house down payment, or plan seriously for retirement. Moreover, it creates the discipline needed to set up consistent investment contributions. Channeling funds regularly into things like retirement accounts, index funds. And by contributing consistently, you harness the really remarkable power of compound interest.
Ah, yes, the magic of compounding.
It really is. Earning returns on your initial investment and on the accumulated interest over time, it just accelerates wealth growth in a way that's incredibly hard to beat otherwise.
We saw Maria's journey, right? She shifted from focusing on immediate gratification to consistently allocating funds to savings. And that discipline eventually allowed her to open an investment account and start actively securing her future.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, stability, managing debt, saving, investing. But what does this all mean for you, the listener? We've talked about the why and the profound impact. How do we actually go about building this powerful tool? Where does someone actually begin? It's a structured approach, really. It begins with assessing your income and expenses. That's ground zero. First, calculate your total income from all sources. So if you earn, say, $3,000 from your main job and maybe $500 from some freelance work.
Your total monthly income is $3,500.
Got it. Exactly. Next, you need to carefully track your monthly expenses, for a month or two at least. Categorize them into fixed costs like rent or mortgage, car payments, and variable costs like groceries, entertainment, gas. Using apps or even just a simple spreadsheet for a few months really helps you spot spending patterns. Like maybe you notice you consistently eat out 3 times a week and it adds up more than you thought.
Yeah, those little things can be eye-opening.
Totally. This detailed tracking lets you pinpoint discretionary spending, the wants versus the needs. And that's often where you can find significant cutbacks without drastically sacrificing your quality of life.
Okay, so track everything first. Then what?
After that, you revisit setting smart financial goals. We mentioned this as a common pitfall earlier, but it's equally a crucial building block when you're constructing the budget. Your goals need to be crystal clear, quantifiable, and time-bound. Think about Tom. His goal was saving for that European vacation within 2 years. By breaking it down, okay, I need to save $250 per month. That big dream suddenly became achievable alongside his other financial responsibilities. That intentionality is key.
So once you've got your numbers straight, income track, expenses understood, and your SMART goals defined, what's the next critical step in actually putting the budget plan together?
Then you actually create a realistic budget plan. This involves choosing a budgeting method that fits your personality and lifestyle. There isn't just one right way. A widely recommended one, though, is the 50-30-20 rule. You've probably heard of it. Basically, 50% of your income goes towards needs, 30% towards wants, and that crucial 20% towards savings and investments or debt repayment if that's the priority.
50-30-20. Simple framework.
It is. Once you've chosen your method, you allocate funds across all your categories. Make sure essentials are covered, but also consciously dedicate money to savings and allow for some discretionary spending. It can't be all deprivation. And leverage tools to simplify this, whether it's digital apps like Mint or YNA, which automate a lot, or just a well-organized spreadsheet if you prefer manual control. The key tool doesn't matter as much as using something. And remember to review regularly. Set monthly or maybe quarterly check-ins to see how you're actually performing against your plan and adjust as needed.
Makes sense.
Emily, the recent college grad we read about, she used a spreadsheet and that 50-30-20 rule right after landing her first job. It gave her clarity, helped her live within her means, and importantly, allowed her to start efficiently paying off her student loans right away.
That's great. Okay, so we've built the blueprint. We have the plan. But how do we ensure it remains relevant and effective over time? Because a budget isn't static, is it? You said it yourself. Life happens. It sounds like it needs to be more of a living document needing ongoing attention.
That's precisely it. Flexibility and ongoing engagement are absolutely key. It's not set it and forget it. The first component of effective budget management is continuous tracking of expenses. This keeps you informed about your actual spending habits in real time or close to it, and it quickly highlights areas where you might need to adjust. Sarah, for instance, manually tracked every single cup of coffee she bought for a month. She was genuinely surprised, maybe even shocked, at the cumulative monthly cost.
The infamous latte factor.
Exactly. Digital apps like Mint, YNAB, or Pocket Guard make this much easier, of course. They offer real-time tracking, automatically categorize your spending based on transactions, and even generate monthly reports. These show how well you're sticking to your budget categories. Mark used an app and discovered he had these unexpectedly high monthly subscription fees for services he barely used anymore. He was able to cancel those unnecessary ones and free up significant funds each month. Simple, but effective.
Okay, so tracking gives you the raw data, the facts about where the money's going. What do you do with that data then to truly make the budget work for you long term?
You use that data to review your budget performance regularly. This isn't just about checking if you overspent on groceries. It allows you to identify trends. Maybe you always spend more in the summer or around the holidays. You can plan for that. It helps you adjust your goals if needed. Maybe you got a raise and can increase your savings target or accelerate debt repayment. Regular reviews also foster accountability, especially if you're budgeting with a partner, and they provide invaluable lessons from past spending, what worked, what didn't. Jessica and her partner, for example, they actually turned this into a positive routine. They have monthly budget date.
A budget date. I like that.
Yeah. They review expenses together, strategize for the upcoming month. It strengthened their financial teamwork and helped them celebrate the small wins along the way.
That's a great idea. Okay, so track, review. But life throws bigger curveballs sometimes, right? Promotions, job losses, new family members. How do you ensure your budget can roll with those bigger punches and adapt effectively?
That's the third crucial element, adapting to life changes. A truly successful budget has to be flexible. It bends, it doesn't break. If you get a promotion, great. But also, if you experience a job loss or welcome a new dependent, like having a baby, you absolutely need to revisit your financial goals and adjust your budget categories to reflect these new realities. Significant shifts, like moving to a new city or starting a family, obviously necessitates factoring in entirely new expenses, relocation costs, childcare, maybe increased healthcare premiums. And if you're budgeting with a partner or family, open, honest communication is just vital. You need to decide together how to best adjust the plan. Lisa and her spouse, for instance, they had to completely reevaluate their family budget when they welcomed their new baby. They adjusted categories like childcare, healthcare, even groceries to reflect their new needs and priorities as a family.
It really highlights that it's an ongoing process, not a one-time fix. Okay, but even with all this planning and adapting, sometimes challenges are still going to arise. Things get tough. And it's okay to need a little help now and then, right? How could you stay resilient and maybe get some support when you need it?
You're absolutely right. It's definitely not a journey you have to take completely alone. And asking for help is a strength. One excellent option, if your budget allows for it, is seeking professional help for financial guidance. Financial advisors can offer personalized strategies tailored to your specific situation. They bring expert insights into market trends, investing, insurance, and they provide built-in accountability through regular check-ins, which can be really valuable. Lisa and David, the couple we read about, they consulted an advisor to help them effectively combine their finances after getting married. The advisor helped them sort out their student loans, start investing properly, and prepare for buying a home. They felt much more secure afterward.
Okay, but what if a dedicated financial advisor isn't quite in the budget right now? Are there other options?
Absolutely. If a personal advisor isn't feasible, there are some fantastic money management tools available. Many are free or low cost. These include things like online budget calculators, spending planners that can help generate a budget based on your inputs, and even more comprehensive financial planning software like Quicken or Personal Capital, which offer deeper insights and tracking. Josh, remember him? He felt initially overwhelmed by everything. He used one of these online platforms to automatically categorize his expenses. It gave him these powerful visual insights like charts showing exactly how much he was spending on dining out each month. That clarity helped him dramatically adjust his budget.
Visuals can be really powerful.
They really can. And of course, we've mentioned them before, but the budgeting apps and software like Mint, YNB, Pocket Guard are incredibly convenient for day-to-day management. They link directly to your bank accounts, providing that real-time tracking. Many offer customizable alerts like warning you when you're approaching your limit in a certain category. Rachel, the busy professional, she used Mint to track her spending automatically, set her budget goals, and save up for a vacation. She said the alerts were key in helping her stay disciplined, even with her demanding schedule.
So those are some great external supports, advisors, tools, apps. But what about tackling the internal challenges? How do you really deal with those unexpected expenses we talked about earlier when they actually hit? Or just, keeping yourself motivated month after month. It could feel like a slog sometimes.
Great questions. For dealing with unexpected expenses, that emergency fund is truly your absolute best defense. Nothing beats it. Our research consistently suggests aiming for a minimum of, say, $2,500 to $5,000 for single adults and maybe $5,000 to $10,000 for families as a starting point. You can also budget for incidental expenses. Even just building in a small $50 or $100 buffer each month can help absorb minor shocks without derailing your main plan. When bigger things do arise, prioritize the urgency, what needs paying now. And it's also smart to regularly review your insurance policies, health, car, home, to make sure you're adequately protected against major potential costs. Sam's car breaking down again. That story really highlights the practical power of having that emergency fund ready. It prevented major budget disruption, kept his financial stability intact. He was so grateful he'd built it up.
Yeah, peace of mind right there. Okay, what about motivation? How do you keep going?
Staying motivated. That's key for long-term success. It's really about breaking down those big, potentially intimidating goals into smaller, more achievable milestones. Emily, who we mentioned earlier, she transformed budgeting from a chore into something rewarding by setting clear short-term goals, like saving for a specific weekend getaway she was excited about. You can also try visualizing your goals. Literally picture yourself achieving them. Track your progress visually, maybe with charts or graphs. Seeing that savings account grow and finding accountability partners can be huge. Share your goals with a trusted friend or family member. Knowing someone else knows can provide that extra nudge.
Having someone in your corner.
Exactly. Finally, building long-term financial discipline often involves leveraging automation. Automate your savings contributions, automate bill payments where possible, make it effortless. Think of Jake. He automated his savings transfers right after payday and just watched his wealth grow steadily without much active effort. Out of sight, out of mind, but working for him. It also means creating a detailed spending plan, yes, but also practicing mindfulness before making non-essential purchases. Just take a beat, ask yourself, do I really need this or just want it? And regularly reassessing your budget, as we discussed. It's about making intentional choices with your money consistently, letting those small, consistent, positive actions compound over time into significant financial gains and security.
Wow. This has been an incredibly insightful discussion, really digging into how to make budgeting actually work for your life for you listening. It's so clear this isn't about setting up a budget once and then just, forgetting about it. It's really an iterative process, isn't it? An ongoing journey of learning, adjusting, adapting.
Exactly right. And overcoming challenges in budgeting, it's not about achieving perfection overnight. Nobody does. It's truly about consistent progress. Every single step you take, no matter how small it feels at the time, is a direct investment. An investment in a more secure, more empowered financial future for yourself.
So for you, our listener, just take a moment. Imagine what new opportunities might open up, what newfound freedom, what peace of mind could a truly solid yet flexible budget unlock for your life. Think about it. What big financial goal, something that maybe previously felt like just a distant dream, what could become a reality for you when you master this deep dive into your own money? We really encourage you to explore these concepts further, take those first steps, and start taking control of your financial journey today.